Happy Monday. So we are here today to talk about healthy kids and how we can help our kids and our family, our friends, keep their kids well and healthy and stay well overall. So in the years to come, that they're more successful with their health and they have fewer health ailments that they have to deal with. All right, so for our kids watching, I'm gonna explain things, in kid terms so that everybody can just get a grasp for what we want to talk about and what we want to you guys to know. And then at the end, I'll save a little part where if the kids, you guys want to kind of wander off and we'll talk more to the parents, the adults, and give you some tips and tricks to help your kids be more healthy and for them to obtain better health. All right, so first I want to start off with our little triangle that we always start off with our seminars. So this triangle represents symptoms, organ dysfunction, and nutritional deficiencies. So a symptom, to start, we'll start by talking about what a symptom is. So a symptom is something that's an unwanted health-related ailment or problem. So a symptom is something like headaches or stomach aches, anxiety, depression, earaches are a big one with kids, ear infections, things like attention disorders are another thing that are a symptom. So then we have down here an organ dysfunction, and all that means is an organ that's not functioning properly. So when we have an organ dysfunction, that is usually more than likely caused from some sort of nutritional deficiency. So a nutritional deficiency means that we're not obtaining something from our diet, or something that we are getting from our diet or from supplements is being depleted by the other foods or environmental toxins that we're exposed to. So when it comes to kids, the main symptoms that we see here in the office or that we see parents dealing with regularly are things like ear infections, stomach issues, anxiety issues, attention issues. So we'll kind of address those today, but you can use this triangle for basically any symptom that your child may be experiencing or that you may be experiencing. So a lot of times when we see things like, especially ear infections, I cannot repeat this enough, ear infections are 90% of the time a sugar issue. So when we're consuming too much sugar, we're depleting our nutrients or we're reducing them. So sugar is one of the things I'm going to talk about mainly today, but sugar is usually the problem within a child's diet. Unfortunately, we love to get up and have a quick, easy breakfast or get the kids something quick to eat, get them out the door, get them going to school, do all the things, which totally understand, it's time effective, it's cost effective as well at the grocery store, but unfortunately, a ton of those cereals are just sugar filled and filled with preservatives, dyes, chemicals, things that your child does not need to be consuming, or you for that matter. So what we want to do is we want to work on reducing our overall sugar intake. So that's what we'll get into first, okay? All right. So if you guys have any questions throughout the seminar, please feel free to leave them in the comments and we'll get to them. I can't see the camera today, so what will be happening is I can't see your questions as they come up. But if you have questions, I'll make sure to comment back to them after the video. All right, so we'll talk about the big thing here today, and that's sugar. And I know this is a hard one because unfortunately a lot of kids are actually addicted to sugar, especially at such a young age. And we're also seeing, a high rise in issues like type 2 diabetes, which is technically adult onset diabetes. But what's happening is that our children's diets are getting filled with more and more processed foods, more foods that are filled with sugar, and this is directly correlated to the issue that we're seeing with type 2 diabetes being on the rise with younger and younger kids. So they're consuming too much sugar, it's overwhelming their body doesn't know how to digest it properly and deal with it, so we're seeing that issue come into play. Another big thing with sugar, a lot of parents, we get frustrated when, kids are having that attention deficit. So, you know, we call it squirrel brain, if you will, but going from one thing to the other, just back and forth a lot. So what's happening is that the overconsumption of sugar actually is more than likely depleting their mineral content. So what's happening with the minerals is when we lose our minerals, we're also losing things that need to be replenished. So what's going on is you're not getting minerals from your diet. So what's going on is the soil is depleted of minerals because the topsoil contains fewer and fewer minerals each year because it's just not being replenished. And what's happening from that is that's where we get our minerals, our main source of minerals. So unfortunately, our kids aren't getting minerals from their diet. And then when they're not getting those, then on top of that, we're eating junk food and things like that. Sugary snacks, pizzas, a lot of times wheat can be an issue, dairy with kids. So what we want to do is reduce sugar overall. So how you can do that and still not make your kids angry with you because they can't have their delicious cakes or ice creams or snacks or things like that, is that you can go ahead and work on finding healthier options. Or you can even make like a game out of it. So let's say, children are used to, for example, like let's just say your kid is used to having some sort of sweet snack every night after dinner. So you can play a game and start reducing it. So you could say, okay, this week instead of having sugar 5 times, you're gonna have it 4 times, but that 5th one is gonna be more of like a healthier option. So you could say, tonight for your sweet treat, you can have like some fruit or something along those lines. It's still gonna be sweet, but it's not gonna be the refined sugar that's causing the depletion of the minerals and causing things like attention deficit or ear infections, stomach aches. That's another really big one. Kids always complain of stomach aches. More than likely it's a sugar issue. It's just messing up their natural biome. All right, so sugar is going to be reduced overall first thing. Then when you start working on the reduction of sugar, what can happen is you're going to focus on reducing sugar, but you're also going to focus on the things that you're going to be replacing it with. So what you want to do is you want to make this a positive thing. So with kids, you don't want to put a harsh negative correlation towards the fact that you're going to be taking away the sugar, because as humans, that just makes us focus on that more. So we want to focus on, okay, we're going to be reducing this, but instead we get to eat these other tasty foods. So the biggest thing that we find helps reduce sugar cravings is adding more protein to your diet. So protein usually comes from animal sources, so things like meats, eggs, some dairy sources, and then plant sources would be things like nuts and seeds, beans, that sort of thing. So you want to look at increasing those options throughout your diet, especially with kids. Protein is crucial for brain development, crucial for growing. Protein is specifically in charge of healing the body and restoring muscle. So, and working with brain function. So you want to make sure that you're getting an adequate amount of protein. And protein, things like beef, chicken, lamb, fish, all of those are really great options, and you want to look at getting enough of those in your diet so that you can work on reducing the sugar cravings. All right, so there's sugar, and then we can talk about like healthier options for sweet treats. So there's plenty of options out there. If you're working on reducing cereal or something like that, a sugary meal in the morning, what you can do is you can work on saying, okay, point A, you're eating Fruit Loops or honeycombs or something like that. Then let's say maybe you find a better brand of cereal, all right? So you're reducing the chemicals, you're reducing maybe the more processed things that are in the cereal by finding something that's a better version. Then you can work from that to go on to something that maybe isn't cereal in the morning, but something more like eggs or bacon, sausage, that are high protein, high quality fat. That's gonna make a huge change. I see a really big change in adults with their, quality of their energy, quality of their overall body health and quality of even, they can say, even their attention throughout the day when they start off their day with a good breakfast. So what happens when you provide that to a child who maybe has only been on this earth for 6 years or something like that? They're at less of a deficit than we are as adults, because they haven't been exposed to as many toxins and chemicals that we have at this point in their life. So they're going to see a change, and they're usually going to see a change pretty quickly. That's the great thing about starting off health at a young age, is that you're going to see change quickly. You're building up habits for success for the future. So providing your body with good nutrients, good high quality food is going to help your child have less health ailments in the future. So they'll experience, there are things like athleticism will even be better, when they start to get more involved in sports. Things like their attention during school time is going to get better. All that is going to improve. And I'm not saying, that kids are going to be very attentive, 100% on the time. They are kids, so we have to give them a little slack. They just kind of like to go, go, go. But the fact of the matter is that there is more of an attention deficit when a child has a sugar-filled diet. All right. So let's see what else we have. So what I'm going to do too, and I don't have it printed out yet, but I'm going to print out just like a little pamphlet with some helpful recipes and tips for kids that you guys can take at home, some snacks, some bigger meals, because I know kids love to eat, pizza and mac and cheese and those sort of things, and you don't want to take the enjoyment of those away, but there are definitely some better trades and options that we can do to help improve the quality of those items. So for example, I was at Whole Foods yesterday, and they have these noodles called jovial noodles. I don't know if anyone's heard of them, but they're a rice pasta noodle with egg in it, and the egg helps it feel texture and taste-wise like extremely similar to a real noodle. So you'd be taking out the wheat factor, which is a good thing, because wheat and things like that can cause a lot of inflammation within our bodies, so you'd be taking that away. And then if you got something like that and made more of a mac and cheese from scratch, you'd be providing more high quality cheese. So things like cheese that's, if it is pasteurized but has fewer ingredients in it, that's good too. Or if you did more of a raw cheese mac and cheese or anything like that, that's going to be the ideal goal, versus the Kraft in the box mac and cheese is going to contain a lot more harsh chemicals even. It's going to contain wheat from the noodles, and it's contained very processed cheese. So there's things that you can do, options to trade out for those things. When it comes to pizza, there's a ton of different good options out there. So we have things like gluten-free crusts, cauliflower crusts. You can even make your own pizza from Siete. The brand Siete has these tortilla shells that are meant for tacos, but Dr. Sheena the other day was like, I'll just throw it in the oven and make a little mini pizza out of that, and that's a great idea. It's going to be lower carbs, so you're going to keep your inflammation lower. It's going to be gluten-free, so you're going to reduce that overall as well. And kids with sensitivities, that's a great option for them. So if you have a child that may have food sensitivities, that's another thing that eating a less processed diet is going to be extremely helpful for them. All right, so let me erase this here. All right, then we'll talk about exercise too. All right, I'm going to change up my colors here. So exercise and movement. Let's just say movement too. Alright, so you can decrease sugar. That'll be the first thing we'll do, okay? So just to wrap on that, decreasing your sugar, increasing your protein. Those are the first things you want to do when you're working with kids' diets. Then the next thing that I always recommend is exercise and movement. So especially with children. They have so much energy that they need to be getting out and using. So what you want to do is you want to increase their exercise, increase their movement overall. What this is going to do is this is going to help so many different systems. You know, it's going to help their cardiovascular system. It's going to help with mental clarity. It's going to help with their energy. It's going to help with things like just feeling better, digestion, all of that. That is going to be very beneficial for children. Then it also is just, it's a part of growing. So exercise and movement helps us grow. It helps our bodies function at optimum level. So you don't want to have your kid be doing obviously like a weightlifting workout or anything like that we would do as adults, but exercise, movement, just running around outside playing games, playing catch, being involved in summer activities. I know that next week pools and things are opening up again, so getting in things like swimming, going out to lakes and pools and going swimming in the summertime, getting out in the sunshine, being involved in those things is super important. So making sure that kids are moving is a great way to keep their health at a higher level. When they are moving, then you want to make sure that you're replenishing things again with good nutrients. So a lot of the times what we'll see is kids play a baseball game or a softball game or something like that, and then they have a snack afterwards, and it's like Ho-Hos or something, or a Twinkie or anything like that, fruit roll-ups. So they're burning off all of their good nutrients in their body to keep their bodies moving and keep them moving well, and then what happens is they're replenishing them with something that's not fuel efficient. So the body's going to use what it can to replenish what it just burned off, but essentially you want to be replenishing what it just burned off with something that's a good source of nutrients. So things that are like a higher protein. So roll-ups are a good idea. So like if you want to get like high quality lunch meat, so that's like no nitrates, no sulfates, no added sugars, that sort of thing. If you want to get those and do like a higher quality cheese, and then do like a wrap with that, that's a really, really good option for a snack. It's good to throw in a lunch, anything like that. And like I said, I'll write all these things out, and I'll put together like a little kid's pamphlet, so that way there's some recipes and snack ideas within that for you guys. But when you are implementing exercise and movement into a child's routine, you want to make sure that you're giving the body what it needs to stay well, because if we keep depleting with exercise and movement, there's going to become a point where the body is going to say, all right, stop. And that comes in the form of, a sprained ankle, or, they may get an upset stomach during things, or any of those things are valid points that can happen if a child's not getting what they need in return from what's been depleted. All right. I'll kind of go over some things here that we have as options for some good snacks, okay? Another big issue I see with sugar while it's on my mind is a lot of like sports drinks or soda pops are being consumed. Those are actually the highest point of sugar, like where America gets most of its sugar from, are pop and sports drinks. So we encourage you to definitely stay away from those, especially while your kid is participating in a sporting event or sports team. You want to avoid Powerade, Gatorade, those sort of things, full of chemicals, full of sugar. And if it's the sugar-free, it's probably full of a chemical sugar that they technically don't have to count as an added sugar. So on that note, we have a healthy Gatorade recipe here. Actually, I'm just gonna pull it right out. So we have a little healthy Gatorade recipe. So what this is it's 16 ounces of water. So whatever bottle you want to put that in, 2 ounces of whatever fruit juice you want. Make sure it's no sugar added, fruit juice, and then 1/4 to 3/4 teaspoon of Celtic sea salt, which is going to be your replenishment for your electrolytes. So making sure you're getting in healthy magnesium, healthy sodium, and healthy potassium is going to be good for replacing those, because when we're moving, sweating, that's what we're sweating out, getting rid of. Then also you can go ahead and put in some of these water drops here. So it's funny, we have these on the counter over by the water fountain here, and I think 9 out of 10 kids that come in immediately go over there, fill up their cup, and take the little tester and put the water drops in there. So these are made with stevia, so they have a little bit of sweetness to it, which is a great thing because that gives it a little extra flavor for them to enjoy. This one in particular is mixed berry, but there's like peach, lemon lime, raspberry lemonade. There's a ton of good flavors. And what this is going to do is it's just going to give that water some extra flavor. It doesn't do much nutrient-wise, but it's going to give it the taste that you want. The nutrients are going to be coming from the sea salt or the you go ahead and put in that drink. But this is going to be a much better option versus the Gatorade, Powerade, those things that you'd be buying at the store. Here's some other quick, nice treat options. So we have a beef stick here, which is good protein, good fat, easy to throw in some anyone's lunch. There's 2 in a pack, so you could even split that up depending on the kid and how high their appetite is. You could do, 1 for now, 1 for later, that sort of thing. But this is a really great, easy snack to throw in. Throw in the sports bag, throw in the backpack once school starts again. Going to summer camps, if those are a thing this summer, throwing those in the bag, easy, quick, and nutrient dense. There's also some different other meat bar options. This one's chicken sriracha, so it's got a little spice to it for anyone who likes a little bit of spice. And then another issue we see with snacks are the granola bars, the chewy bars, or anything along that line that are loaded with sugar. Huge issue because they're not very energy giving, or they are energy giving in the fact that, okay, quick little bout of lots of sugar, high energy, and then boom, kids crash really fast. So what we want to do is we want to work on getting good energy in that's sustainable, and then that way over time kids continue to have that good energy and not the quick up and then the quick down. So bars that we have here that are kid friendly, because this one actually has a little bit of chocolate in it, which is nice, but this has some cashew, some coconut, some chocolate, so it's going to have your good fat and your good protein, and it doesn't taste like a health bar. I would say it tastes like a nice chocolatey chocolate bar. All right, so overall, what kids, families, what you can be doing to help your children out is just reducing the sugar. All right, so bringing that down, play a little game with it, make it fun. Don't make it boring for them, because kids, they want to have fun and make things interesting, and don't don't put the negative attention on it. Just say, this is what we're doing, but we're gonna replace all those other foods with these really good foods. Educate them. Kids are super smart, they're insanely smart. So just let them, talk to them like they're an adult. Let them know, this is why this does this to you, and here's what we're gonna do instead. Increasing the good protein, increasing your healthy fats. So like I said, more meat sources of protein, more if you want to do a homemade trail mix or something like that, that would be a great source of fat and protein as well. That's something you can throw in there. Eggs in the morning, bacon in the morning, sausage. When you send them to school with a lunch, make sure there's good nutrients in it, like the meat roll-ups or vegetables, things like that. Make it fun. Add some sort of dip in there so that they can dip their veg in, some hummus or guacamole, anything like that. That's always a good idea. And then as far as snacks go and things that they're involved with, activity, make sure they're replenishing what they're depleting. That's really important. All right, so those are the few things that you can do at home to help your kids' health overall, and then help the return to be less symptoms for them. So less tummy aches, less I can't go to school, I don't feel good, and less earaches is a big one too. All right, hope everyone's having a great day. If you guys need anything, we are here normal hours this week, and I want to put some emphasis on that we will be open this Saturday from 9 to 1, seeing patients and open for getting supplements or any other items that you may need. So if you need anything like that, give us a call and we'll be here. All right, everyone, have a great Monday and a great rest of your week.